What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and listen to Representative Larson. He's probably the #1 advocate for Social Security and expansion to Social Security increase. He is the sponsor of the Social Security 2100 Act. If you guys want to know more information about that, I'll post a link at the end of this video. I've done extensive videos on the Social Security 2100 Act and how it would impact and help millions of people receiving Social Security benefits. So he's going to be on the House floor, and he's going to be talking about why we need to expand Social Security. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. And also, you can go to Blue Sky and follow me on Blue Sky. I've had some people say that they're not getting notifications on YouTube. Well, guess what? If you go over to Blue Sky, you follow me on Blue Sky, every day that I post a video, I will post a link to that video on Blue Sky. And so you'll get that. So you can go over there. So if you miss my videos here, you can go over there and click on that link, and it'll take you back to YouTube so you can watch my videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to watch this, and we'll watch it together, and then maybe I'll stop and talk a little bit about what he's saying. But he's mainly going to be talking about the Social Security 2100 Act. So let's go and take a look. Here we go.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Larson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Rogers. Good to see you. That has a nice ring to it. I rise today to address the concern that faces the United States Congress, one that it has avoided and neglected for more than 54 years. Richard Nixon was the last president to enhance Social Security. That was in 1971. All of us are concerned on both sides of the aisle, but concern is no substitute for action. And it's long overdue that Congress takes a vote on behalf of the American people. Social Security is more than a pension program. And I think the American public knows it and is getting aroused because, well, there's 70 million Americans that are on Social Security and 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible for Social Security. For example, Mr. Speaker, in your district alone, you have over 175,000 Social Security recipients. And it's broken down into those who receive pensions, those who get spousal benefits, those who get widow benefits, children, and of course, disabilities. More veterans rely on Social Security disability than they do on the VA. But here's the other key thing, and we don't emphasize this enough. Social Security is the best economic development program that we have in the country. Every district, on average, gets over $200 million coming into that district on a weekly basis. So imagine, on a monthly basis. And can you imagine, where do they spend that money? Nobody gets wealthy on Social Security, that's for sure. But that money goes right back into the economy. And so it becomes something that Congress hasn't adjusted since 1971. Now, I think a few things everyone would acknowledge have happened to the economy since 1971. But certainly for Congress to neglect its responsibility, and you can point fingers every way, but the bottom line is Congress needs to act. Congress needs to vote. President Trump has called for tax cuts for people on Social Security. I applaud him. We've had tax cuts in our proposal for the last decade, but there has been no action on that. But the difference between what we're proposing and what President Trump is proposing is that we pay for ours, because if you don't pay for it, what you end up doing is bankrupting the Social Security Fund. Still, the #1 anti-poverty program for the elderly and the #1 anti-poverty program for children. But this economic development piece is something, again, that all of us ought to be able to embrace. I provide every member of Congress with a card that will demonstrate how many recipients you have and how much money comes into your district on a monthly basis. And for us meaning the United States Congress, it's the only body that can act. President can't do it through executive order. The Supreme Court isn't going to take it up. Only the United States Congress can. Inaction means the fund will be cut. Unpaid action means the fund will be cut drastically. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, there's more than 5 million people that get a below poverty level check from Social Security, having paid in all their lives. That was not the guarantee that they signed up for. And there's close to 35 million people in total, 35 million fellow Americans. This is the only benefit they have. Again, testing to the great vision and leadership of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, knowing that this is actually the safety net of capitalism. This allows people to take risks because even if people were to fail, there is something there to catch them and help them and their families through this. But Congress has not acted since 1971. Now, some will say, no, wait a minute. Didn't Tip O'Neill yes, they did. Tip O'Neill got together. It was primarily led by Senator Bob Dole. We got together with Ronald Reagan, who was adamantly opposed to Social Security, but Dole convinced him, no, this is the right thing to do. So what they did is they extended the solvency of Social Security to its current position. Not as long as it should have been, but nonetheless, it was an action that went in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, I know you to be a man of goodwill and integrity, and I hope this is something that we can bring up and work to get this done on behalf of the American people. And with that, I yield back.
Okay, so that was Representative Larson talking about why we need to expand Social Security. Now, it's interesting because he's talking about the economic piece when it comes to Social Security, increasing benefits for people receiving Social Security. Because if you're increasing benefits, let's say you increase benefits across the board for 70 million people. Those 70 million people will be spending that money in all over the U.S. And so all of these different Congress people and all these different districts, they're going to see the economy in their districts go up because you have people out there spending more. If you're spending more, that's helping the local hardware stores, the grocery stores across the board in the U.S., these small businesses can now hire more people. Even the larger businesses, they can hire more people. But it has a really positive impact by expanding Social Security. Now, if you do the opposite and you don't do anything and you wait and we see this cut because the trust funds will be completely depleted in about 9 years, if you wait and that happens, it's going to have the reverse effect. People are going to be spending less. And if people are spending less, then guess what? The economy is going to suffer as a result of that. So this is one of those things we have to get in front of it. And I don't know when Congress is going to move forward with some type of reform for Social Security, but it needs to happen. And the best way to do it, and I'm going to keep going back to this because, I mean, you don't hear politicians really talk about this. But the reality is raising the full retirement age, that's not going to solve the problem. Eliminating cost of living adjustments, that's not going to fix the problem. Cutting some different parts of Social Security, that's not going to solve the problem. The only real way to solve the problem is by bringing in more revenue. The only way to bring in more revenue is by raising taxes. That's a fact. So when we're talking about FICA, people who are working right now contributed 6.2%. Their employers matching that 6.2%. You might have to increase that across the board. So you might have to increase it by maybe 2%. And so now instead of 6.2%, it's going to be 8.2% that you're contributing. It's not that much in the big scheme of things, but it will guarantee that you'll be able to receive Social Security benefits at 100% when you retire. And so if you tell the American people that, the people right now that are currently working, if you tell them, look, you're going to have to contribute just a little bit more so we can get through this because like you heard Representative Larson say, 54 years, they haven't done anything to enhance Social Security. All they did in 1983 was, I mean, the main thing they did is they raised the full retirement age up. But they didn't expand the benefits. They didn't say, okay, you're going to get more. And so this is something that hopefully we'll hear more politicians talking about this. Every year, Representative Larson will come out and he'll talk about this, and he'll go on the House floor and he'll say, look, since 2014, he's had this proposal, the Social Security 2100 Act out, but people haven't really, Congress people haven't taken him up on it and all this. So he's going to say these things, but he needs support. He needs more politicians out there saying, okay, yes, you know what? Let's move forward with reforming Social Security, and let's take a strong look at the Social Security 2100 Act. But I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.